How are
How
you
you doing?
today? Oh, I am
Oh,
good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I cannot complain. It's a good day. Yeah, it's a good day.
Yeah,
It's a good,
weather
yeah.
all right?
Weather is it's okay. It's not terrible. It's not the best. It comes and goes of like that overcast look.
Hmm.
Like one second it looks like it might storm, and then the next second it's like beautiful and sunshiny.
Yeah, sounds
But
like the
it's fine.
UK. Sounds like the
Yeah.
UK. I mean, it was extremely hot 2 weeks ago, and then it got kind of reasonable summer weather
Mhm.
today. Rainy. It's quite
You're in a
stormy looking.
cardigan.
Yeah, I know. It's the
Cardigan.
summer, and I'm in a cardigan. Says it all, doesn't it?
I'm telling you.
Hmm.
It's okay though. I guess it's good cardigan weather, which it's always nice to have a little cardigan
Get
in the
comfy.
in the in the wardrobe every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah. Ashy
Yeah.
D95 says hello, guys. Hi, Ashy D.
Hi, Ashy D95. How is
um,
the weather where you are?
yeah, let us know in the chat. Let us
Yeah.
know. Okay, right. So it's me and Paula today. So I'm gonna do my intro. Paula, you've got the random question today.
Oh gosh, okay.
So that's why I gave you pre-warning because I'm going to do the
Yeah.
intro so you can think.
Okay, good.
So hello and welcome back to the Arghon AI Twitch channel. My name is Jess. I'm your host today. I'm joined by the wonderful Paula.
Hey.
Hello. So today, as it's Thursday, it's Throwback Thursday. So this stream is going to focus on the technology we use in daily lives. It could be a way of life, or it even could be an industry. So we focus on how it was in the past, how it is today, and how we imagine it in the future with AI and how AI can improve it. I like Throwback Thursdays. It's almost like a bit of a history lesson as well as sort
Mm-hmm.
of a look into the future. So it's cool. Um,
Absolutely.
but as always, as we talk, as we go through, be sure to comment along with us. Be sure to friend us, follow us on here to get notified every time we do go live, because it is always better to join us when we are live.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, if you go to youtube.com/Arghon, when our streams expire on here, they're on here for 2 weeks, they expire. They then get transferred over to YouTube. So if you subscribe to us over there, you can watch all of our past content on there. And of course, social medias, so Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Arghon AI. Be sure to follow us on there. And the website is at the top, arghon.com. Go there, check Arghon out, download it. It's free. You can have a conversation like it with it, just like we are on this stream. And as I said, it is free. So go check it out. So,
Yeah.
random question.
All right. What is your favorite toppings to put on tacos?
Ooh, okay. So we're talking like the whole deal, or like what are we talking? Just
You have
everything.
a taco, you have like taco night at your house for
Yeah.
dinner.
Okay.
What are the must-haves to like complete the taco experience?
Okay. So really off topic. Wait, it's not off topic for a second. I saw a video the other day where these people had like a tablecloth, like a disposable tablecloth, all on a
Mm-hmm.
table. They then emptied out like a load of nachos
Mm-hmm.
and then put everything in the middle, like toppings, etc. And I was like, that is genius, because I like eating with my hands anyway, but there's
Mm-hmm.
no washing up afterwards, which is great.
It's
But
true.
back to the tacos. So I am a meat eater, so I like to have some mince in there, minced beef, always great. Or turkey mince is really good. It's also,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, a healthier version too. So but I like, so you've got to have some lettuce in there, some tomato, which I'm not a massive fan of tomato, but in tacos, must have.
Mm-hmm.
And then guac is the most important part for me. You need to have enough guac, because if it's not there, I'm going to be so sad.
I like the way you say guac.
Guac. It's almost like quack,
Please
isn't
just
it?
say it one more.
Quack.
I love it.
It's like quack,
it.
isn't it? Oh.
It sounds like quack. Yeah.
So actually, I'm realizing I like to load my tacos up. So I like to have sour cream salsa, jalapenos, great, and also cheese, loads of cheese.
Yeah. Wow. You have like a really good. That is a taco.
Like it's big. It's big.
That is a real, like, that's a serious taco.
Yeah.
Random as well. I saw that same video that you're talking about, and I was like, what is this? But it was the funnest thing because people were just like, okay, all right, they just like dumped everything out on the table. Obviously it was covered, but I was like, wow. They made a queso. They made a queso cheese and just like poured it. I was like, wow, they really believe that this like napkin thing for the table is the covering is very strong because the queso is like still still bubbling. I'm like, is that okay? But they made it. But,
it looks great. So
yeah, it did. It looked really, really good. Yeah, I'm a meat eater as well. I like a ground beef, or I have had the turkey tacos, the ground turkey tacos. Also, there are meat alternatives, but like something that cooks up like meat.
Yeah.
I've had tacos like that as well, and it's really good. The toppings. Let's get to that. Lettuce.
Yeah.
Yes, lettuce. Tomatoes. But also, sometimes even if you don't have fresh tomatoes, like diced tomatoes, salsa.
Yeah.
Salsa I like just because you also get other things like onion in there as well. So the salsa is good because it's like two birds, one stone, you know? I do like guac, but typically I'll have guac on the side with some chips on the side, you know? You know, I obviously cheese. Cheese, you have to have the Mexican blend, the 4 cheese Mexican blend.
Oh, yes, that's great. I like that.
A taco sauce sometimes.
What's a taco sauce?
So if you get a taco kit, like if you're cooking this at your house, it usually will come with like a taco sauce. It's not salsa. It's like
I think I know what you mean, but I think we normally just get, like, they just say it's like a salsa.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if anyone's tuning in from the UK and I'm wrong, let me know.
Yes. And if you're tuning in right now, what are some of your favorite toppings to put on tacos? Because I mean, in the States, to have like a Taco Tuesday, it's a thing, you know. It's a highly regarded time to just have some chill out time and have some delicious Mexican food and load up your tacos however you want. Have you also seen people do the tacos but like nachos in a Doritos bag, and they put all of the toppings in it? So like they put the meat and the sour cream. Oh, I also like sour cream too.
Yeah.
But sour cream is not a must-have. You know, it's not always a must-have.
Agreed.
Cheese is definitely.
So they do it in a Dorito bag?
Yeah, so you open the Dorito bag with like the chips, so you know the nacho cheese one. Open the bag, put the meat, put the sour cream, lettuce, tomato, salsa, cheese, and you just like shake up the bag. I have never done this, but it is a thing. I've seen it on however I saw that first video with the same video you saw. I think I saw it on a similar platform like that, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's easy because it's just you have your own serving, and that's just how it goes.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I really like Doritos as well, so.
Yeah.
That was a great random question. Ashley D has responded saying, my favourite toppings have to be guacamole and jalapenos.
What was his first topping favorite?
Guacamole. That's why I was like, guacamole? Guacamole?
Guacamole. Thank you for that, Ashley D95. Those are two good toppings. You both like jalapenos on your tacos. I don't ever put jalapenos on my taco, so
I like it. It's like, it's not too spicy. It's like that little, like, well, they're not really spicy. It's like a little kick. Not too much, but just a little something to get it going.
Maybe depending on where they're tuning in from, maybe it is like another popular topping.
Wow.
In that place.
They're tuning in from the UK because they responded to your first question as well, saying the weather here in the UK is not great. So I feel you, Ashley D.
Okay, maybe it's an English thing.
It might be.
The jalapenos.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Very interesting. Thank you, Ashley D95 for tuning in, and for those who are just joining us, hello and welcome. We are Arghon.
Hello. Thank you, Paula. That was a great random question. Thanks. Okay. Always food. I love it. Yeah. Unfortunately, today's topic is not about food. However, I do just want to let everybody know that next week is actually the last week of the first season of our Arghon AI Twitch channel. I mean, that's crazy. We have been doing this for how many months? I don't remember.
Did we start in April?
Or was it? Yeah.
We started in April.
Season 1? Yeah.
4 months. That is incredible.
That is incredible.
Where has the time gone?
I don't know. But we've had fun for these 4 months, but obviously we will be back. It is just season 1. Obviously just the planning has all come, to an end. And then we are planning season 2. So you've got that to look forward to. But obviously be sure to check in with us next week because it is the final week. So we might have, something special planned. You never know.
Never know.
And also, obviously we've had the interns, haven't we, for a couple of weeks on there, which I think they've had a lot of fun doing. So you may see them next week with us. Who knows?
Yeah, that has been so much fun too.
Mm-hmm.
Those interns were dropping some knowledge about artificial intelligence that last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed. To say the least.
Yeah, it was good.
For those who are tuning in and wondering what I'm talking about in terms of episodes, don't worry. You can go to the videos portion on our Arghon AI Twitch channel and watch past episodes.
Yeah. So go check Mondays out because it's great.
Yeah.
And also it was really refreshing kind of having, I guess, other people than us on here because, again, we started this Twitch channel to really drive the point home that AI truly is for everyone. So, the fact that we've had interns that are willing to kind of come on here as well and talk about it is really inspiring, I think, and very empowering as well. So we thank our little intern team that we've got because they're doing a great job. So
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So let's get started. So I haven't said, but today's topic is about telephones. So that is something that we're all very familiar with. But as always, as I said at the start, we're going to go through the past, so the history of it. I'm going to keep it brief. I'm not going to stay too long on the history of it, just to give everyone a kind of idea of, the advancements that have been made. We're then going to briefly talk about present, and then we're going to go into the future with AI. So, Are you ready, Paula?
I'm ready.
Good.
Those at home viewing right now, are you ready?
Comment. Let us know what you think. Ask us questions as we go through because, So I just want to start.
I hear them saying yes. I hear them saying yes, Jess.
Yes.
Yes.
Ashley D, wherever you are, you know. So, as always, I just want to give credit to the articles that I've basically got my information from. So, mittel.com, mitel.com, they've done the history of telephones, and then also cbro.it. So they are in the chat for anybody wondering, so you can go look at it yourself. So let me get the pictures up and we'll get started.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I want to start off by saying, I think, personally, one of the greatest and possibly the most powerful innovations in communication technology to date is the telephone. I think it's so important in our day-to-day lives now that, you know, when you think of how many things you can actually do with your mobile phone, it's like, I think, you know, when I talk about the history in a minute, I think all those people would never have expected it to, you know, get this far and us actually as human beings be that reliable on it as a technology. I mean, we're kind of a prime example of this next point. You know, with it, we've connected over mountains, across oceans, and to opposite ends of the world. So, of course, you know, I'm in the UK, you're over in the US. Sadly, Lauren isn't here, but we miss you, Lauren. So, you know, even for you ladies, you're in 2 different states. So the fact that we can easily connect, you know, and be able to communicate easily and efficiently is just insane. And I think, you know, with cell phones, smartphones, you can send important data, you can actually capture memories, and you can explore the internet all from our mobile phones. Crazy. So that was just my little intro. So as I said, I'm going to go into the history of it. So
Cool.
I've got a picture on the screen. We're going to 405 BC. Can you guess where we're going?
Egypt.
We speak about them quite a lot. The Greeks, the ancient Greeks, always ahead of their time. So the ancient Greeks used heligraphs, and that is what everybody at home you're seeing on the screen currently. So basically, it's a refracting lens that was used to focus light to communicate messages over long distances. So I guess kind of like the bat symbol, but just...
The bat.
but not. But not. So this technology was actually so effective that similar devices were used for long distance communication by the British Army until the 1960s. So the fact, if you think 405 BC, the British Army was using that kind of technology up until the 1960s. They were so ahead of their time, like it's crazy. So recent users of a heliograph use Morse code to sort of convey messages. And Ashley D has said, so I guess it's more, it's like Morse code. Effectively, kind of, but it's just, yeah, it's visual, there's no sound. But we'll speak about Morse code shortly. Anyway, so that was my little shout out to, you know, ancient Greece. We're jumping now to 1667. So again, I think I always get really shocked when I host these episodes and I look into the history, because I'm always like, I don't expect it to go as far back as it does. But 1667, there was an English polymath, Robert Hooke was his name, and he was famous for his work with microscopes, but also physics. And he was the one that conducted one of the earliest experiments with communication using a taut wire. So the example that you can see on screen is, I don't know if you did this when you were younger, Paula, I remember doing it in school, is where you get like tin cans, or you get like a plastic cup, and then you put a string in it. So one talks into it and then the other puts it by the ear and you can hear it. So that is basically, yeah, he experimented and that's what he kind of came up with. So, you know, as you can imagine, these experiments led Hooke to kind of inspire so many people about the long distance communication. So jumping to 1753, one of the earliest propositions for the creation of a long-distance telegraph was by Charles Morrison. So his system was originally comprised of 26 wires, one for each letter of the alphabet. So which moved the position of a small ball to the corresponding location of the receiving station. So it's all still very, it's like long distance, but it's all still very basic. And it seems like it's a lot of effort at this point, as we can imagine. So then jumping to 1838, Samuel B. Morse discovered that you could transmit messages by pressing down or releasing a button in intervals to transmit a pattern of sounds. This was known as Morse code. So Ashley D, you were on the right track. And obviously Morse code, this was in 1838, and obviously Morse code was heavily used in war times as well.
Yes.
So again, that's crazy that, for that long, that kind of technology was used until the war. So Morse code. I don't know what it means. You've seen Parasite, haven't you?
I have.
There's something to do with code, Morse code in it, but I can't, spoilers, I can't go into it. So in 1876, Alexander Graham Bell submitted a patent application for his telephone on the 14th of February. And by March 10th, he had transmitted a clear voice message to his assistant. And what this message said was, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." So that was the first thing, yeah.
On Valentine's Day, that was the message he was trying to get across. Mr. Morrison.
Well, we don't know when it was, because it says, and by March 10th, he had transmitted a voice message.
So it finally got there on March 10th, but it was originally sent on February 14th, correct?
Yeah. But no, I get what you mean. So that was interesting. I mean, when I read that, I was like, that's really cool that it's kind of documented. Well, I mean, why wouldn't it be? Because if you're kind of making this kind of stuff, you would note it down. Or I would. Because I'd be like, I want to get the credit I deserve. So, of course, as you can imagine, this paved the way to rapid developments in telephones. So it's interesting because, I think when it comes to technology, there's never just one person that's trying to create these certain technologies. And exactly in this time, Bell wasn't the only one trying to achieve this breakthrough. So there was also a person called Alicia Gray that was working on a project very similar to the work of Bell. And it was effectively like a race to the finish line to see who could develop it first. But Bell obviously won. Yeah. Yeah, he got it. So in 1878, Bell's father-in-law founded the Bell Telephone Company. So this was later known, it became the American Telephone and Telegraph Company, also known as AT&T. And apparently, the Bell Telephone Company went on to fight over 600 lawsuits, accusing them of monopolization of the telephone market. And apparently, they won all of them. 600 lawsuits, they won it. So everybody was racing to get it,
Yeah, don't sue them because they have actually, made these feats to help people communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So jumping on to 1889, William Gray developed and installed the first payphone at the Hartford Bank in Hartford, Connecticut. So a coin mechanism collected payment after the call was terminated. So it was 9 years before the first post-pay phone was launched in Chicago, Illinois. So that's interesting that it was sort of, you could make your phone call and then you'd have to pay afterwards. Where, I mean, I can't remember the last time I physically saw a payphone, but I know for the UK, it was very much you had to pay before you made the call. So, okay, so.
I think the same here. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the last time I've seen a phone booth, except in the UK.
Yeah. The red ones.
The red, yeah.
So in 1896, Alman Brown Strauger. Apologies if I've not pronounced the name right. Please let me know in the comments. He invented the rotary dial telephone after being antagonized by a telephone operator purposely directing his calls to his competitors. So with the rotary phone dial, callers decided who they were contacting and didn't need to rely on an operator. So again, that's really interesting that, you know, at that time you couldn't physically pick up a phone. You would sort of have to be redirected through an operator. But obviously, you know, this guy was getting trolled. So he was like, I've had enough of it. I'm creating my own thing so I can physically dial because I'm not having it. And that is on screen as well for everybody to see. But I'm sure we all know about the rotary phones. And then jumping quite far. So we're now into 1927. The first telephone service from the US to the UK was set up in January of 1927. So the first phones were radio phones, but they had a lot of issues. So there was a lot of interference, sort of fading issues. So I don't think they were very popular. And also, I thought was really interesting, 3 minutes of time on these phones cost nearly $10. So 3 minutes of time on these phones cost nearly $10, which if you imagine in 1927 as well, that probably was quite a lot of money.
Expensive.
Yeah. I don't think anybody would probably pay that now. So no. And then 1930, so 3 years later, AT&T created a two-way video telephone called the Iconophone. The Iconophone let people see, hear, and reply to each other in real time. Apparently the idea didn't see much commercial success, which again is really bizarre because if you think about it now, what we're doing, we're on a conference calling, you know, type of program, and you know, there's other things that you know you can use now to, you know, video call with people. But I think the issue with this at the time was it was an actual device that was purely just for video. It's not like mobiles now where, again, you kind of have the choice for what you can do. But again, it's interesting in the 30s that kind of concept was created, but it just didn't, you know, it wasn't very popular. So they just put it on hold, and now it's extremely popular. So, yeah. And then we are jumping to 1941. Bell Laboratories released the first touch-tone phone, which reduces dialing time. So again, rather than having to kind of do a rotary phone where you have to kind of put your finger in, go to the number, wait for it to come back, you now just have a touchpad that you can just dial the numbers, making it way more efficient.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I think that would have been painful. Because imagine if you need to make an urgent call and you've got to wait for the rotary phone to like spin back around. Not fun. Not fun at all. And then 5 years later, so 1946, the first use of a car phone was developed by Bell Laboratories. So this actually used the running engine of the vehicle to charge batteries for the phone for mobile communication. So yeah, it's also, I haven't said, like, back in those days, yeah, you couldn't take your phones with you. You were very much restricted to being inside of a building or a payphone that was, you know, outside. You couldn't, it wasn't mobile at that time. So I guess, yeah, finally having it installed into a car, people probably felt like on top of the world because they were like, I can actually drive and do it. Although we do not condone that. Don't do that. That's very bad. But I can imagine at that time, it was probably also for very rich people.
Yes.
You know, having it in their car, just picking the call up when I'm ready. And then in 1966, again, apologies for the name pronunciation. I don't know if I'm going to say this right. George Swigert submitted a patent application for a wireless telephone. So this used two-way radio to relay the communications to a base station connected to traditional telephone wiring. So now in the 60s, we're finally seeing kind of like a wireless phone, which is making it a little bit more free for people to kind of, you know, do their day-to-day stuff while being on the phone. 1973, Martin Cooper places the first cellular mobile call to Joel Engel, a rival at Bell Labs. The first cell phone took over a year to recharge, and the maximum talk time was only 30 minutes. Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh.
You make one call and you've got to wait a whole year.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy to think that.
Anyways, my phone's about to die. I'll talk to you in a year. It's fine.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. And the maximum talk time was only 30 minutes. Yeah, I think that's really interesting. And also that Martin Cooper made it to a rival at Bell Labs. So I wonder what that conversation was. Very interesting. But a whole year to recharge. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder how popular that was, if people would kind of, if it was a thing that they could purchase back then. I don't think it was. No.
Don't know if it was available, probably extremely expensive, and when people had this in their possessions, probably only used it for absolute emergencies.
Yeah. But moving on, so 1984, as you can see on the screen, the first handheld mobile telephone was developed by Martin Cooper, and it's also known as the brick phone. It weighed 2 pounds also, which, again, by today's standards, this is not 2 pounds. Like, that's crazy. But I'm sure everybody tuning in, you know what the brick phone is, but it is on screen for you. They were very chunky. And again, it was for sort of like more businessmen that would have it. It would have, you know, people with money were sort of the ones that would kind of have this type of phone. So that is interesting. Retro. Definitely a throwback. Definitely. And then we are jumping on 10 years. So 1994, the first touchscreen mobile telephone was launched, and that is also on screen, which is really interesting. Again, just when you compare it to what we have now, it's just crazy how much technology has advanced in that time. But also the same year, the first mobile phone with the actual keyboard that we know. So, you know, the QWERT, QWERTY, or however, you know, keyboard. That was the first mobile phone in 94 as well to be released with that. So really cool. And then lastly, as I said, it's very brief. Of course, you know, you can kind of comment any other interesting facts you do know about the history. We've just got an hour to try and fit all of this in. So apologies for being a bit brief. But my last point about the history is in 1996, the first mobile with internet access was released as well. So the 90s, there was a lot going on. And yeah, I just think, oh, Ashley D says, imagine trying to tell the other person a whole year's worth of information in 30 minutes. That's crazy. That is true.
Right to the point, like right.
It's been a crazy year. I've done this. Like, you would have to journal like everything, and then 30 minutes. That would be quite tight.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, as I said, it is very brief, but it's just to give everybody tuning in, and of course you, Paula, sort of a brief look in the advancements that have been made in history. And I think, you know, I was talking about 405 BC, but then we jumped kind of to the 1800s and then quickly moved on to sort of the 1900s as well. So I think in that brief history, you can really see how much the telephone has advanced. Was there anything interesting that I pointed out that you want to talk about? What did you... Yeah.
This has been such a nice little history lesson. Thank you for doing the research on this episode. To know that communication is something that is so important, that these advances have needed to be made throughout history, is just I mean, a sentiment to how much communication can carve out generations, cultures, history. Everything is around communication. That's how
Yeah.
people learn, and it brings so much with it. So whatever is communicated is things that can be obviously of great positive impact on people's lives, to the point where people in the past, such as, is it Robert Morse, you said? And
What?
Alexander Graham Bell.
So it was. Hang on. Are you talking about the Morse code, gentlemen?
Yes.
So Alexander Graham Bell is the gentleman from Bell Laboratories. And then it
Yes.
was, hang on, Samuel B. Morse, the one that created.
Samuel B. Morse. But so people who have come throughout history and tried to communicate messages in different ways. I find it to be truly incredible that they were able to find ways to bring messages to the people before the time was even fitting of seeing a need for that.
Yeah.
But making a way for that to be possible. I really do. There are a lot of things I like about this episode, but just the fact that the whole idea of the telephone was way ahead of its time, even in terms of what you were talking about with the video phone, and how that is utilized so normally today, and
We're
how
doing
it's,
this right now. Like, that's
yeah,
insane.
how it's even a fairly new idea in the span of the history of the telephone.
Yeah.
But the ideas, the foundations of that idea were thought about a very long time ago. So I think that's very cool that, nothing is new under the sun. Everything is kind of like coming back around to each other. But I find that very interesting.
Yeah, it is. And again, I think it's, yeah, when you think about the past, and again, they didn't have certain technology back then, but yet they were still innovating and coming up with ideas that at the time there wasn't really a need for it. But again, as you're saying, that it's come back around now, and it's one of the most popular ways of communicating, I would say. Everybody loves a little video call. I know I do. It's like when you see your family, and especially in like 2020 as well, like I think that has been heavily utilized because we've not been able to see our families and do all of that. So that is sort of the best way that we could have communicated in this time. So I didn't think about that until just now. So yeah.
When you just said seeing your family, and when people are obviously in person, they get to hug their family and see their family and hear their family. So for the telephone to take all of like the different kinds of senses, but really make it something that's more immersive now. So how it first started out with the signals in the sky and all of those kind of things. So you're seeing the signals, and obviously you're going to have to think about what those signals mean in terms of language. But you go from that to the Morse code. So you are hearing. Isn't it the sound from
so it's
beep,
it's
beep beep.
Yeah, it's dot dash and all of
Dash.
that. Yeah.
Gotcha. All I can do is SOS in Morse code.
God, do it.
It's like beep, 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 beep.
Oh.
I think that it's like SOS. So it's 1, 2, 1. Something like 1, 2, 1. I think that's
cool. Well, no, but I mean, anybody tuning in, let us know, because that's really cool.
Let us know what that is. What is that? Yes. People, you can do that with lights as well.
Yeah.
Another spoiler to that movie, but so it can be either from sight or sound.
Yeah.
But how moving forward in history, how now it's everything. We can see you, we can hear you, and it's just a more in-person lifelike experience with communicating.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
And that's what Ashley D was saying. So, you picked up on it straight away as I started. I was talking about ancient Greece, and you were like, so like Morse code. So, yeah, it's again, it's one of those things where, again, it kind of started out that not necessarily sound, it was visual. And then as we got into Morse code and, the kind of tin can type of thing, that's when they started incorporating sound into it. So, yeah, it always, excites me when we get to kind of research into things, because again, you kind of forget how lucky we are, in a sense. I mean, I don't think we're going to spend too much time talking about present time because we're all very familiar what a mobile phone is. But the kind of one thing that I wanted to mention was, so I know the last thing that I spoke about in 1966, 96 was the first mobile with internet access. So, moving on to more present time, we had in 2010, the rollout of 4G networks were developed. So obviously there was 3G before then, but 4G stands for fourth generation, and basically what that refers to is a mobile network technology that enables compatible devices to connect to the internet. And why I think that's so important is because, obviously in 96, that phone was able to connect to the internet, but it probably would have been very restricted in what you could access. With the rollout of 4G in 2010, and in this year, 2020, the UK started to roll out 5G as well. So it's trying to make our devices and our mobile phones even more powerful in the sense of what we could actually do on the internet on our devices. I mean, I think people can even live stream these days using their phone, and the fact that, their mobile networks are so powerful, they're able to walk around. I think that's a popular thing, is people on Twitch will literally just go on adventures walking around, and they're able to stream using their phone because, it's powerful enough. But I think I mentioned at the start, really, that there is so much that we can do with our mobile phones now. Like, literally, you can use it for business purposes. You can do your work on it. You can connect keyboards and all of this stuff to it. You can connect microphones. You can video call. You can regular call. You can send messages. You can capture memories. You've got cameras now on mobile phones. You've got all of these different things that, again, you forget how, I don't know, how important it is to everybody's lives, because we've got so much of our information and we rely on it so much because we can do so much on it. So that's why I don't think we're really going to stay on the present too much, just because we all are kind of familiar with it. Paula, I don't know if you want to add anything to present day with mobile phones?
No, because what you are saying, just that idea of a connected lifestyle, that's being utilized more via mobile telephones, wireless phones, more and more every day. So I really do think right now is that perfect time to go into the technological shift, because I mean, we all know what the phone can offer us now,
because we use it every day.
Use it every day, yeah. So seeing what the idea of a mobile phone with the idea of artificial intelligence being attached to it and its capabilities, I'm very interested to see what that looks like.
Yeah, so I guess, just going off of that, I guess also, you've got Bluetooth, all of that kind of stuff on our phones now. It's just, as you said, it makes it more of a connected experience. And that does transition so nicely into AI, because, we rely on our phones so much now. Imagine, honestly, I think there's endless possibilities of what AI can do to mobile phones, in the sense of creating that experience. Because what I've written down is, again, I was talking about business work, but using your phone and then basically having it be your personal assistant. So again, it's kind of saving you money, because you don't necessarily have to employ someone to be your personal assistant. It's literally an AI on your device that can kind of control your calendar, can remind you all of these different things, sort of remind you about birthdays, you know, I don't know, if you need to pay bills, all these kind of things that, you know, you rely so much on yourself to do. And if you have got a busy work life or just a busy life in general, a lot of people have personal assistants to help them so they don't forget all of this stuff. So I think sometimes it's easy to forget what AI is. And AI is really, really smart. Like, you got to think of it like a human brain. And I think that's why it would be so perfect to work as a personal assistant, be your super companion like Arghon. So definitely go to arghon.com and check it out. Because again, AI is really about streamlining, you know, your experience of your day-to-day life, making everything more efficient and easy for yourself. So again, you don't have to worry about remembering all these things because your AI can get to know you personally, be your super companion, and, you know, it can really be your aid in life and make everything so much easier for you. And then I was kind of thinking, because if you've watched our stream before, we like to mention food quite a lot, and we mention Marvel quite a lot too. So where my brain went was, again, with AI, it's not necessarily being restricted to an actual device like a mobile phone. I was thinking Iron Man, Spider-Man, you know, they have those glasses. So again, the fact that you're not actually restricted to having to stare at your screen, you can have, you know, these different things made where it can literally be your glasses, and you literally, all you have to do is look, and you can communicate like that. Again, you're not restricted to a mobile phone, which again is just changing the whole game, because you don't have to worry about forgetting it. You know, you get in your car and you're like, oh, well, I've got to go all the way back to get my phone and all of this kind of stuff. And I just, it makes me excited, because again, it just, what it's going to do for people's lives. And I think, again, it's so nice not being restricted to a physical device. I know with the idea that I've come up with, the glasses, that is kind of a device in a way, but it makes it's more natural. It's there, it's already on your face. And again, all you have to do is necessarily, like, you know, look a certain way, or again, just communicate using your voice and be able to speak to the AI, and it be able to understand you, and it being able to, you know, do things with the requests. That's truly what makes it AI, is that kind of human intellect or intelligence. So I just think, again, how cool is it if you're going outside, you've got the glasses on, and you're able to sort of have your super companion there talking you through these different things, connected to your IoT, Internet of Things devices at home. It knows you're going through past the shop, so it's like, hey, Jess, you've got to pick up some milk, you're running low on milk, and then you're like, oh, okay, thanks, and you go into the shop. That kind of thing. I'm getting too carried away, but
no, it's so good. It's so good, because I'm tracking with you. I'm tracking right there with you. How, speaking about the connected lifestyle, and how you don't, there's that seamlessness that comes with artificial intelligence. You know, that seamlessness of, you know, you don't just have to be attached to a phone device, you know. So even thinking about the future of the mobile device with AI involved, is I see it really, there not being a physical device like a phone that we have now. I see it as, you know, if it could be a fashion accessory or something like that, that is connected with you, you know, moving with you throughout your day, to not only assist you in any tasks you need to get done, but connect you to people in a more seamless manner. You know, say that, you know, that the future of the office in the traditional sense of going into a workplace, maybe that's not a thing anymore. Maybe you are working remotely from home or any place in the world now, instead of having to be confined to just one office space in one location. Okay, you walk into the place that the AI now deems as your office, and automatically connects you at the time that your workday is supposed to begin to your colleagues, via, you know, whatever your accessory looks like, or via video, or whatever that looks like. Just the idea of the telephone because it serves so many purposes for us now.
Yeah.
The telephone is essentially trying to, create that personal assistant kind of role for us now. But with the utilization of artificial intelligence, it takes it that one step further of making it seamless. You getting into your car. Okay, well, it's hands free. So, okay, you have a phone call that you need to take. So you are connected through your car. You don't have to just stop your meeting because your schedule requires you to go, I don't know, pick up children from school or be on the way to the airport because you're on the way to a whole different meeting in a different country and you have to be there by a certain time. The idea of artificial intelligence being even easier than a telephone, a mobile phone that we think is so easy now, but when you take that physical object out of the picture and the mobile device capabilities can be just intertwined with AI, it really makes it just one of the easier experiences in your day-to-day tasks.
Yeah.
If you forget your phone at home, essentially you've messed up. If you have left your phone at home, and the way we are so connected to our phones and the phone is so connected to our everyday life, because that physical device is not with you, does not mean your life should stop.
No.
Through the utilization of artificial intelligence and it being an interconnected thing throughout your life, through the devices that you interact with day to day, could be, like you were saying, sunglasses, or it could be earrings, it could be anything. It's with you.
Yeah.
You're connected, even if your physical device is not with you. All of the capabilities don't stop just because your telephone isn't with you. I love that idea. I really just see, obviously, there will not be less of a need to communicate and connect to people from all over the world, but the way in which we do so can be transformed in an extremely positive way, and this be something that can be made easier for everyone. It doesn't have to just be, the elites of the world that can use this or have this seamlessness in their day-to-day lives. It can be everyone.
Yeah.
Because artificial intelligence and the way it is meant to fully mesh with your life is not just meant for the few. It is really meant for everyone to be that sense of ease and bringing more time to your day, making the tasks that you have to do in your day-to-day more efficient, and everyone can utilize that.
Yeah.
And that is really what I love about AI, is that it's for you, it's for me, it's for everybody.
Yeah, and I think that's funny because we always seem to go full circle in a way, and it's crazy because we spoke about it before on here, but the reason why Arghon was created was the CEO Collie. His mother-in-law was in hospital, and it was a case of sort of when she goes back home, none of her kids or family was sort of near her, so Collie decided to create Arghon in a way to kind of, help her, remind about medication, all of those kind of things. And again, that, your point, Paul, it really drives home that, again, AI really isn't just for one type of person. It truly is for everybody. And I think when you think of the positive impact it's really going to have on everybody's day-to-day life, and again, having that super companion there for you, knowing who you are as a person, knowing your schedule, knowing your budget, knowing all of these things that we've said for the last 4 months, truly is something special, and everybody should know about it because it really isn't anything to be scared of. It's going to be amazing. And again, if you go to arghon.com, download Arghon, try it out for yourself. You can see what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
And also, that reminded me, because I think what a lot of people think these days as well is, with our phones, depending on, the company you've got the phone with, there are certain things where you can speak to your phone and it can respond to you or perform certain actions based on what you're saying to it. That's not strictly AI. That's more, it's programmed to know, right, it's going to say this certain thing, so I need to give it this kind of reaction. AI truly, again, is more about it being more intelligent. So again, not it being programmed to know, right, they're going to ask about opening a certain app. So I know because they've said it in this way, it's going to open. It's sort of, again, having that more human-like intelligence and actually, again, being able to perform way more advanced tasks than just opening certain apps on your phone. Or it just being certain algorithms. Again, it sort of knows you as a person. So, instead of when you're going onto a shopping app, let's say, and it knows, right, looking at your schedule, you've got a party coming up. I know by looking in your wardrobe, you don't have an appropriate outfit. So I know your sizing. I know your favorite colors. I know this, and this. So this is what I found for you. Do you like it? Yes? Okay, do you want me to order it for you? Oh, I get too excited.
Cannot wait.
Yeah.
So exciting. It really is so exciting. It's something that, yes, it's there to help us and help us accomplish our tasks that we have to get done and in our day to day, but it is also something to enjoy and to have fun with. All of these things that we do in our day to day, yes, there are things that are necessities to the functioning of our days, but honestly, AI is also really fun and really cool to see how it can be used not just for the necessary things in life, but also the fun and sometimes kind of frivolous things. It's like, okay, I do want to go on a shopping spree today, and I want to get a bunch of clothes, and my AI knows my size, colors I like, my budget, even though I'm going on a shopping spree. So maybe I might adjust that budget only on the permissions I give the AI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
but that's the point. Sorry to butt in quickly, is the fact that, okay, yeah, you could have set your budget up with the AI, but again, what makes it AI is the fact that you can say, hey, no, actually for today my budget is going to be this because I'm going on a show. And again, it being able to react to that in real time like a human being. Oh, crazy.
It's fun. It is fun. It is very, very fun. Yeah. And with mobile devices and how it functions today, of course, things with your phone, you have certain permissions.
Yeah.
And the seamlessness utilized through AI, you will continue to be able to set those permissions to however you see fit for your life. Which I think is great because, with mobile devices, sometimes you are showing your caller ID, sometimes maybe not, sometimes the way the calls that are coming into your phone, if it's an unknown call, well, your AI probably isn't going to automatically answer, that question of, do you want to answer this phone call? This phone call is called 17 times yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, there are things that can go beyond what even mobile devices are doing right now, which is very good because there are a lot of things that should be vetted through the phone, even in terms of calls that are made and spam risks and all of that. But if the AI is really doing that filtering for you, it's almost like by the time the calls get to you, there should be a sense of ease because even more security enhancements are in place to ensure that you are having a safe and protected and secure experience interacting with your AI as well as all of your seamlessly connected mobile devices.
Yeah, that's really cool to think of it like that as well, that actually it's making your mobile or whatever device that is more secure, because again, it's going to vet it even before it gets to you, where now, you might get like a load of random calls and you're like, I don't want to pick that up, I don't know who it's from, so then you have to go physically Google that number, see if it comes up with anything, or again, your AI in real time is already done that for you. And it sort of knows those emails. We've talked about that. You did the security episode. If you go to youtube.com/Arghon, you can go check that out because that was a really good episode where we were kind of talking about that, I guess, the whole it helping or making your house and all of that even more secure because, again, it can vet it before it even gets to you, which just makes your life so much easier, because again, you don't have to waste your time thinking, oh, this email, it kind of looks legit, but there's I don't know, and then you've accidentally clicked on it, and then all of a sudden they've got your bank details, and then you're having a disaster of a day. So I think even the fact that we've gone from, your AI being super companion to, having fun, doing shopping, all of that kind of stuff, to helping with work, but then also security, making it even more secure. I think, as I said, like there's endless possibilities of, I think, what it's going to do for mobile phones. It's so exciting. Like, oh.
Yeah. You know what? I can't wait to see it. And for those who are watching right now, if you can't wait to see it, if you're thinking, maybe I could be the creator of the next AI seamless telephone experience, you can head on over right now to arghon.com/vision 2020. Vision 2020 has been created by Arghon. It's a platform that allows you to learn how to code for artificial intelligence, as well as practice your own unique codes for AI. So you are provided with all of the lessons that you need to equip yourself with the knowledge to learn how to code for artificial intelligence, which is like that little step up in terms of what you're bringing to the table and your coding language, which is able to acclimate and change for the changing technological times that are ahead of us. If you are curious as to what that looks like, head on over to arghon.com/vision 2020. Sign up, get started today. It is free. There are no prerequisites involved in you learning this valuable lesson to upskill your life. Literally, all you have to do is have a Wi-Fi connection, a keyboard, and a willingness to learn this new skill. Yes.
And as Paula said, but I'm just going to reiterate, it's free. It is free. So you can literally get started now, upskill your life. But also what's really cool is when you do go through the Vision 2020 initiative, you learn to code for AI, you can customize Arghon to be your own personal Arghon. Like, you can create features for Arghon that I don't have, Paula doesn't have. You can share it if you want to, but you can keep it for yourself. Or there is also an option to, get it through to the Arghon team as well, so we can kind of vet it, see if it's cool enough, if it's good, and then potentially all of Arghon users will have access to this feature that you have coded yourself. So, you're upskilling your life, but also like, that is cool. I've never heard of anything like that before. So, you can make your Arghon your own personal Arghon as well. So arghon.com/vision 2020. Go check it out. You can get started today. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Hey.
That's good.
Yeah, I think that is pretty much it. We've gone for just over an hour. And again, we want to keep some ideas to ourselves because, we don't want to be giving all our secrets away. But Paula, do you have anything to add?
No, just a thank you for this educational and always exciting discussion as to how AI is going to come into different spaces and really transform for the better and make it a more seamless and positive experience for everyone to enjoy. So thank you for walking us through how it looked in the past, how it currently is, and what a future imagined with artificial intelligence in the world of telephones looks like. Thanks, Jess.
No, thank you for being my co-host today. It's been fun. Lauren, we miss you.
Yeah.
We miss you. But no, thank you so much for Paula and everybody that tuned in, that watched, and everybody that commented. Be sure to friend us, follow us on Twitch. You can get notified every time we do go live. So again, like Ashley D did today, you can get involved as the conversation goes on. So definitely do that. The streams stay up on Twitch for 2 weeks, but then they do expire. They do get then transferred over to YouTube. So go to youtube.com/Arghon, subscribe for some other really cool content as well. Social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Arghon AI. Be sure to follow us on all of those platforms. Again, we've got some really cool content on there. You can get some really exciting updates. Yeah, and the website, as we said, arghon.com. Go download Arghon for yourself. It is free. You can talk to it like we have this whole stream, get to know it, and let it get to know you. You can cook with it. It can tell you jokes. It can do all these amazing things. So definitely go check it out. We will be back on Monday for our Flags and Poles episode, which is 8 p.m. British Summer Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for our final week of season 1. 4 months. Crazy. I still can't believe that. So be sure to, tune in on Monday. Come check it out for the final week of season 1. But yeah, thank you so much. We will see you next week.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.